Mindy once said, "I won't beg someone to love me. I learned some time ago that there is no use in hopeless pleas of trying to make someone stay. I am too good to chase someone who does not know my worth, and I am too wild to keep waiting for someone who does not acknowledge my value. I want to be loved unconditionally, and I should have to fight so I have to prove to someone that I am worth it. I am worth more." Ever since a little girl, my mom always told me, "Mariah, protect your heart no matter the circumstances, because that's what will guide you through life." Relationships have always meant a lot to my mom, and it was an area that she never took lightly when it came to my siblings and I. But being the stubborn freshman I was, I let my mom's wise words go through one ear and right out the other. But man, do I wish I would have listened to her. So by a quick show of hands from the audience, how many of you have let a past experience dictate your happiness? When I was a freshman, I fell for what I thought was the perfect guy. But by my junior year, I found myself in a dark hole that I couldn't see myself getting out of. I excluded myself from everything. I would go to lunch and put headphones in and not associate with anyone. I wouldn't go to friend gatherings. I wouldn't attend school functions unless they were mandatory. And for family events, I wouldn't talk unless I was spoken to. For 6 whole months, I was someone that my friends and my family couldn't recognize. And quite frankly, neither could I. But if only I would have listened to what my mom told me, I would have never found myself in this predicament. So a lot of people might think that a heartbreak in high school is very cliche, but at some point, a lot of you in this room have felt the hurt by someone you loved, whether it be a family member, friend, and or boyfriend, girlfriend. But summer going into my senior year, I slowly started seeking my own happiness again. But here I am now realizing that the boy that I thought was an innocent flower was actually only a serpent underneath. People come and go like cars passing by, but in the end, I learned to stop looking for happiness in the same place I lost it. February 16th of 2014, I began a relationship that I yet knew would be detrimental to my life. Freshman year around homecoming, I met a boy. We began hanging out and became really good friends. We shared countless memories, some good, like spending our summer days at the campground, and some bad, where all we did was argue about stupid little things. Then a year went by, and him and I were still happy as ever, acting as if we were still in the beginning stages of our relationship. But then another year went by, and things weren't quite the same. It started off little, and I couldn't quite put my finger on it, but something has changed. Everything felt slightly off. I could almost see it in his eyes, hear it in his voice. I knew it was coming. I knew there was nothing I could do to prevent it. But it started off little, like the calls became fewer and farther between. I woke up to no good morning texts. The lack of effort, emotions, and excuses just began to build, and I knew I couldn't stop it. Around Christmas time of 2016, he was leaving for Chicago with YFC. That night before, we hung out at his house, watched movies, and had a good time with his family. The night I went home, he texted me and said, "Hey, I'll text you in the morning, I'm going to bed." So we went through our normal goodnight routine. The next morning, I woke up in hopes of seeing a text from him, but nothing. He had to be up pretty early, so I just figured he was sleeping on the bus, so I didn't bother to text him. But my day consisted of checking my phone every hour, still in hopes of seeing a text, but again, nothing. My anticipation began to build, and it hit around 10, 11 o'clock when I couldn't take it anymore. And I began to text him saying, "Is everything okay? What's going on? Like, why aren't you texting me? I miss you." So girls, or even guys, how many of you have ever received that breakup text? Breakup texts come in all different lengths and characters, but mine went a little something like this. "Mariah, I had a great time with you, but," and so on. After reading his text, I immediately reacted in anger and blocked his number for the night because all I kept hearing were justifications as to why. And I was angry because I wasn't the type of girl to be in a relationship for 2 whole years just to have a good time. I wasn't the type of girl to pursue my life in something just for the thrill of it. That night, I was heartbroken, and I went down to my room and cried because I thought what him and I had was special, but apparently, I was the only one who thought so. The next morning, I woke up and I felt as if I could not function because I gave everything I had to him, and he was my best friend. That night, I finally fell asleep around 3, 4 in the morning, and I woke up and I felt as if I could not function. All I did was cry, and I couldn't believe what just happened. So when I went home that night, I remember my mom asking me, "Mariah, like, what's wrong? Like, what can I do to help you?" But through my journey, I had a lot of people who left, but I did have people who stayed. I had friends who would come to me and act like my friend just to get the inside scoop on things and still get away into his life. I had friends who only a week of us not being together would go after him. But I also had friends who stuck by my side. And if it wasn't for Allie Munger, Emmy Van Blarkum, Chuck Yates, I don't know if I would be happy now. But I can't forget about my family, especially my mom. Now, I know that my mom wasn't the one that got her heart broken that night, but every day I hurt, so did she. She would come to me and constantly tell me she loves me and would say things like, what can I do to help? Like, I'm sorry I didn't protect you better, as if my heartbreak was her fault. But if only I would have listened to what she said earlier on in my life. But soon, I began to push my real feelings down and put a fake smile on my face every day. I began trying to fill the void of emptiness I felt with boys, none of whom I took seriously. So for those I hurt in response to my own hurting, I truly am sorry. I cut off all communication I had with my ex, and anytime I felt the need to text, call, or Snapchat, I would vent it all out to my friend Allison. But I soon began to seek my own happiness again, and only because I finally came to terms that I was not pictured in his life anymore, and going back to him was only like getting a tattoo. Painful, but you still want more. Then summer came, and it was a summer to remember. One Sunday morning, I woke up and went through my normal Sunday routine, getting ready for church, and I went upstairs and my mom said, Mariah, we're going to a new church today. Now, I was not happy because I don't like new changes or new experiences, so naturally I got an attitude, but we attended the church anyways. After church that night, my mom and dad went up to the pastor of the church, and they immediately tried hooking me up with their son. Didn't ask me my name, didn't ask what my hobby was, just how old I was to see if I met the age requirement. So once we introduced each other, I felt bad because I probably wasn't the most approachable person because I wasn't going to hand my happiness in another hand of a boy ever again. So I felt really bad for him. But then on our way home, my mom proceeded to tell me of how cute this boy was and how he was raised in a good home and he could sing, and I never heard the end of it. She then proceeded to force me to go to youth group, so I went. And after that night, he asked me for my number, so I gave it to him, not wanting to be rude. But little did I know, it was all for the better. We began texting and hanging out, and he got to know about me, and I got to know a lot about him. We started dating in July. As we started dating, our relationship grew, and I began to open up a lot more. And I began to tell him about how my past relationship, I hated it and hated him because how much it hurt me. He then began to tell me, being the good man he was, Mariah, you can't hate your ex, because hating him is just another way of holding on. And then it hit me, that my past relationship was only just a blessing in disguise. So now looking back at my relationship, I wouldn't change anything. Yes, there was a lot of things that had a huge impact on my life, but if I would change it, I would have never met Luke, and I wouldn't be who I am today without the lessons I've learned. So when looking back on my past relationship, I wouldn't change anything. So my point in this speech is not to make you guys feel bad for me or hate him, but to show that no matter who leaves, whether it be a family member, friend, and/or boyfriend, girlfriend, that it all does get better. So take it from someone that knows firsthand. Happiness can come in a lot of different places, but you have to stop looking for it in the same place you lost it. I focused so hard on what I wanted that I lost sight of what I deserved. I learned that I am a strong person because I had to forgive someone who wasn't sorry and accept an apology I never received. I learned to love him again, forgive him, and still wish the best for him, but know he is no good for my life. Josh Shipp once said, you either get bitter or you get better. It's that simple. You can either take what has been dealt to you and allow it to make you a better person, or you can allow it to tear you down. The choice does not belong to fate, it belongs to you. So always remember that we define ourselves by the best in us, not the worst that's been done to us. Thank you.